Hello, it's Jennifer from heysealemon. Today I'm going to let Kona pick my DIY. I'm a little bit late to this trend on YouTube, but I've been wanting to try it out and I'm really curious to see what Kona picks out. Before we get into it, I'm happy to say that today's video is sponsored by Audible. They have hundreds of audiobooks to choose from, including programs that help you feel more zen through guided meditation or fitness. Audible also makes their own originals, which are exclusive audio titles created by a diverse group of celebrated storytellers. And special deal for Amazon Prime members this month, you can get Audible for $4.95 a month for the first 3 months. That's like getting 3 months for the price of one. After that, it's only $14.95 a month, and this offer will end July 31st, 2019. To get started, go to audible.com/heysealemon or text heysealemon to 500-500. Just a little disclaimer, you usually have to check with the store manager to see if pets are allowed, and I know some only allow service dogs, which I totally respect. This store happens to allow pets, and they are fine with me shopping with Kona. So my plan is to just let her wander, and wherever she stops is where she will pick the supply. I didn't guide her at all, and she went straight for the flower crafts section, and she was really interested in the moss, which didn't really surprise me because Kona loves the outdoors and nature, and of course she went to the plant section. So moss it is, and honestly, I've never done anything with moss. And herein lies the challenge. I did a little bit of research for inspiration on Pinterest, and you can find the link to my board in the description below. And I decided to try out some kind of tranquil, zen-looking moss piece of art. I saw an example of this near the succulent section at Michael's, and they do have a lot of different textures you can add to an art piece like this. And I decided to put all of this in a frame. They did have some for 60% off, but you could totally get a frame from a thrift store, a garage sale, or an old frame. I went with this frame since it was already on sale, and it does have a woven texture, which works well with glue. Michael's does have a variety of moss, but some of it is a little bit more money than I wanted to spend on this art piece, so I did find that the dollar store has moss as well in their floral section. They may not have as much variety of moss as the other craft stores, but if you're working on a really big art piece, this is a less expensive option. Dollar stores also have inexpensive plants, pebbles, rocks, and different textures you can add to your art piece. I roughly sketched out the concept I was going for with my moss art, and I started laying out the larger textures first. I laid these out on my frame, and I'm going for kind of an organic, wavy composition. You can also find rocks at pet stores, and I'm going to use these leftover fish tank rocks. I used tacky glue to lay those rocks down, and added another area of glue to lay down more colorful rocks, and these ones I got from the dollar store. And for the larger pieces, I used hot glue. When the glue is dry, it helps to wipe away any loose bits with a paintbrush, and go back in with the glue to fill in any gaps with the extra material. Another place you can find a variety of pebbles is the hardware store. I already had these on hand. I use them for my bamboo plants and succulents, so I'm adding them to this art piece as well. Keep in mind, the more stones you add to your canvas, the heavier the art piece is going to be. I think this is a good amount of rock texture, so let's get on to the moss. I used a mix of floral moss and reindeer moss, which is a little bit more spongy than regular moss. And I used a mix of these to fill in the larger areas. I added a faux succulent to one of the corners, and then filled in the rest of the space with moss and some of the smaller pebbles. And here is my finished zen moss art, and I gotta say, throughout this whole process, Kona was totally zenned out. She was just relaxed while I was making this. I think all the textures can give your eye like a tranquil forest of moss to get lost in, and it can give your room some zen vibes. I was also inspired by moss terrariums, so I'm going to try that on a much smaller level in a jar. And to make some tranquil looking mountains, I'm using these 2 rocks which I got from my yard. I hot glued those together and glued that on top of a faux moss stone. And glued that on the bottom to the inside of the jar. And packed in some floral moss around those rocks. If you're making tiny terrariums, some tweezers can help. Sometimes pieces of reindeer moss can look like little trees, so I picked off some pieces of that and glued them in areas to make them look like trees surrounding the mountain. Then with some white acrylic paint, I dry brushed the top of the rocks to make them look like snowy mountains. Also dabbed a little bit on the trees to make it look a little bit more realistic. And here's my tiny moss terrarium with some snowy mountains and treetops to give you some tranquil zen vibes when you look at it. Kind of like a snow globe, but without the water. I don't know, let me know what you think. Let me know which of these projects is your favorite in the comments below. Thanks again to Audible for sponsoring this video. Again, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get Audible for $4.95 a month for the first 3 months if you sign up by July 31st, 2019. After that, it's $14.95 a month. Get started at audible.com/heysealemon or text heysealemon to 500-500. I hope you try out one of these projects. It's a good weekend project, so I recommend it for getting your zen on. I think they were really relaxing to make, and I think Kona did a good job at picking out my DIY supplies. If you want to see more fun videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my videos when I upload. And if you want to support this channel and support my efforts in making more videos to post, check out my Patreon and also my YouTube memberships links. Those are all in the description below. Also, I have Lemon Love t-shirts in my Teespring shop. If you're curious on this, no dog hair is included like mine, but if you're curious on supporting my channel and getting some merch, go check out my shop down below. If you want to check out more videos with Kona, I have a whole playlist. You can check that out right here and check out more videos right in this playlist. I'll put something right there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Say goodbye, Kona. Say goodbye, Kona.